Welcome to our second annual International Women's Day Fireside Chat here at Pike Place Market. I am Chef Traci Calderon of the Atrium Kitchen. I have with me today, coming back for a second year, is Meeraf.
Yes, I'm Chef Meeraf. I am with the Lands of Origin Bakery here in Pike Place.
And I have Aditi.
Hi everyone, I'm Aditi from Aditi Chai.
And Nadia.
Hello, I'm Nadia with Pies, Birds, and Books.
And
I'm Barbara from the Daily Dozen Donut Company.
I feel so fortunate to celebrate this global day of recognizing women, both in social, political, business. We are a very powerful group of women, and specifically, we all have businesses here in Pike Place Market. So I love sitting down and talking about how you started. And Barb, I know you go back to 1990, officially with Daily Dozen, but you were part of the market since 1978?
Yes, I came in 1978. I was 18 years old and just wandered around looking for a job. And I worked for Maz Kajioka at the Wonder Freeze. I also worked for Bob Windhausen, the owner of Best Flowers, for a time. So they were both old market back through the late 60s and 70s. And so lots changed since the market.
Yes. Back then. And Nadia, you were one of our newer pop-up vendors, correct?
Yes, I am. I'm right there on the market front. I'm here every Sunday from 11 to 4. I'm part of the Artisan Food Program. It's a brand new program that Pike Place started to highlight marginalized people in the food industry. So you can't have a brick and mortar. You have to be like, you know, somebody starting new. And my business is fairly new. I'm only about 2 years in the business, and I'm only about a year at Pike Place. So yeah, I'm right there on the market front, and it's like I have a pop-up shop.
I love it. And for those of you that don't know and haven't tried, you must try her honey pie. I had it last summer, and I kept going back, not to share or anything, but to eat. And Aditi, how long have you been in the market? You're very new.
I am very new. I feel like I'm the new kid on the block. So I started here in the market, I think last August, I would say. And so we're fairly new. My business I started in 2018, but our retail location here at the market is fairly new. So yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've lived on your chai on some Saturdays when I leave the house without eating. And Meeraf, you're here just 2 years now, or still?
A little bit. Let me see. It's like one year, and it feels like 2 years.
It's dog years when you're in business for yourself. Each year is equal to 7.
Yeah, and I still feel like the new kid on the block, just to put it out there. But I've been here for about a year and 3 months now. We started last November, and it was such a horrible time to start at that time because it was so slow, and I was just shocked. But then the summer came around, and the flowers were blooming. And it was beautiful again. So yeah, we're here. We're here for the long haul.
I love it. And your spot, you've just added a coffee experience? Or I have not had the pleasure of trying it. Tell me more about that.
You should come, yes.
Yes, I should.
Yes, so my sister Masti works with me at the store, and on Ethiopian New Year, which lies on September 11th, she said, if you're going to make me work on Ethiopian New Year, then you might as well make me some coffee. Like, I can't, you got to make me coffee. So I brought my Ethiopian coffee ceremony table out, and I brought my little cups, and I made her coffee there, just so, it was her first year away from home, and I wanted her to feel like we were actually celebrating. But what I didn't expect was the people to just stop by and start taking pictures and post about us. I'm like, okay, we're doing this now. So we do an Ethiopian coffee ceremony. Ethiopia is known for being the birthplace of coffee. It comes from the Kaffa region, hence the name coffee. And all the best coffee in the world comes from Ethiopia. So you know, we have like an elaborate hour-and-a-half long coffee ceremony that we do in Ethiopia, which is kind of condensed into like a 5-minute coffee ceremony here at the store.
You know, I just made a connection. You have a very traditional beverage as well as Aditi. And Aditi, why don't you tell us about your 2 beverages that you have?
Yes, so I bring to everybody a little piece of my family's heart through our masala chai. And the recipe has been in my family for over 100 years. My great-grandmother-in-law's recipe, directly from a city called Surat in India. And now at our cozy spot here, we serve it 1 cup at a time and keep the tradition alive. So masala chai is called masala chai because it has mixture of spices. And our family also calls for many fresh herbs in it. So mint, lemongrass, ginger, all of that. And I think everything comes beautifully together in a cup. So that's one flavor that I have. I think it's a traditional chai. The second one is the turmeric ginger blend, and that one has a little funny story behind it. Growing up, we would be given that if we were a little bit under the weather, and we would run around the table not wanting to have that because it didn't taste so good. But our blend, I made it very, very delicious by adding chai spices and fresh ginger and all of that. But it's really very high quality turmeric, really good for you, and I think people are loving it. So
they are.
Those are 2 flavors that we have.
I take guests on tours of the market before we do a cooking class, and I absolutely love stopping at your spot. One, because the guests who are visiting Pike Place Market are able to actually meet a producer, which we have a sign right out here, meet the producer. Here's your producers. They're right here. And a lot of visitors are just shocked that they're actually meeting the people behind the businesses, the women behind the businesses. So the guests love it as well as I do. My trick with the chai, I will add it to a morning protein shake. So I'm really doing my body good. And then usually mid-afternoon, I want something a little different. And the turmeric does not have black
caffeine. Correct.
Doesn't have caffeine.
Correct.
So I actually love it. Maybe it's because I know it's good for me. But you also made it taste good, found a way to do that.
Yes, yes, and I think to your point, like the way you like meeting producer, I love meeting all the guests. And that's like my main reason that I'm here. I love connecting with people, and so I tell people that our chai is not just, it's not just for taste, but it's a whole experience. It's like telling stories, it's connecting with people, bringing communities together, so we love it too, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't intend to have beverages represented on one side and baked goods on the other.
It worked out great.
It kind of happened that way.
Well, remember I was teasing when I first got here. I said, we're the platies, okay? You guys are the sweaters, okay? Still all color coordinated.
Love it. Barb, you are owner of Daily Dozen Donut Company.
Yes.
And why don't you tell our visitors, our viewers, about Daily Dozen?
Daily Dozen existed a few years before I took over. It existed on top of a surplus teacher's desk from the Seattle School District and a cracked glass case. And that was the entirety of the store.
Really?
That was it. And I had taken my last final and was getting out of college for the summer quarter and needed a job for the summer. And it was the first place I walked to, because I was coming in through the corridor, and said, "Are you hiring?" And he said, and he just said, "Can you come back tomorrow?" And I said, "Sure." And I started there, and then a family member fell ill, and I needed to help out my family a little more financially, and just stuck around. And it sold shortly after I got there to a couple who really, after owning it 6 months, decided it wasn't for them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And they said, "Wouldn't it be interesting if you bought it?" And I said, "Well, yeah, how much money do you need?" They said, "Well, this is 1990. They said, "Well, we'd want about $12,000 down." I said, "Well, how soon do you have to have it?" And they said, "We could give you 6 months." I had $400.
No, that's business.
And,
That's right. But you didn't say no.
And I said, "Oh, no problem." That's what I said.
Yes.
And so I picked up another full-time job. So I had 2 full-time jobs then. And my partner and I both worked 2 full-time jobs for 6 months. We had 3 days off, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Day.
Wow.
And that's how I fell into it. And, starting a business was, at first it's kind of like buying yourself a job. It's literally, if anyone has the idea of that you're going to start a business and sit back and watch the money roll in and your employees are going to do all the work.
It's rolling. It's rolling in.
Right. Then you probably need to be on medication.
True.
Because that is just not what it is you're the lowest paid if you're getting paid.
Yes.
You are the most overworked.
Yes.
And you're the first to get in, and you're the absolute last to leave. And it goes like that for a few years.
And sometimes you're the only one that cares. Sometimes you are the only one that cares.
And you can't pay people enough for them to care.
No, you can't. And hopefully you find people that care. And I think right away what I got the idea of is not ownership, but stewardship. Mm-hmm. And that feeling's never left me. I have never walked around, and I've always had this from when I was small. I guess I was just brought up that way. I've never had the idea of ownership so much as stewardship. Things are placed in my care, and to whom much is given, much is expected. And even with employees that I have now, I started out with just one other person helping me 2 days a week. And that I have obligations to them. And I have to make the best decisions I can, because that's how they pay their rent and their bills. And that owning a business is an obligation to others.
Right.
And to be a good steward of the things that I'm given charge over. And I don't know if that's a business model they'd ever put in a book, but I really feel that I have obligations to my community, to the market, to my neighbors, and to my customers. And that's, I don't know any other way to sum it up, but I feel completely that it's a stewardship thing more than an ownership.
Yes, and if it is not in those business academic books, it needs to be. I made a decision early on that I was not going to go get my MBA. I had 2 choices: go get my MBA and be credentialed to start a business, or just go start a business and learn as I went. And they cost about the same when it's all said and done. But the learning experiences, I think that's why we have this freedom to be creative in our businesses, because we're not following the business model per se. Are any of you, do you have degrees in business?
No.
You do?
Yeah,
And how would you say that experience of getting the degree applies to your world?
Oh my God. The only thing I got out of school was darn it. No, I didn't have debt. I had a work-study program where I didn't have debt, so which was great. But I think the only thing I realized was that anybody can sue you, and that was from a business class. I mean, like a business law class. That I realized, oh, the food could go here, and that could go here, and then that could hit a bike, and that could be your problem. So it's about understanding liability, which I didn't understand before. But as far as, you know, learning business goes, I had a small business when I was in Ethiopia, when I turned 24, 25. And it required a different set of skills than running a business in the United States. Running a food business in the United States, right? So those two, there's no way you can design a program that'll teach the paper bag maker and also the chef how to successfully run a business. So right. It's more teaching me how to talk to an accountant as opposed to doing my own accounting. It's more teaching me how to what are the different steps that I have to take in order to understand my books better, but not really, you know, doing my books. Those things you have to learn on the job. And
Yes. And for your business, did you start with pies, boards, and books?
Yeah.
So food-based.
Yeah.
And some books.
Well, so the company, Pies, Boards, and Books, it's literally just a figment of my imagination. And one day, I was on Facebook, when I had a Facebook, a personal Facebook. I was on Facebook and I was talking too much. My mouth was too big. And I said, it's Thanksgiving. Anybody want pies? I'll have them for sale. And I was only selling sweet potato pie at the time, just that one. And a friend of mine at the time, she ordered 25 large sweet potato pies for the company she worked for. Well, wow. The person who I am would not allow 25 pies to leave my, you know, place and I not build a website. They have, like, they might want another pie. So of course, it's just me. And that's where the business started. And then I said to myself, well, the same friend had me do her birthday party, like cater her birthday party. And I'm no caterer at the time. I'm still a photographer. Like my previous career was photography. I did that for 20 years, and that's what I got my degrees in is digital media. And so when she had me do her party, I did the charcuterie for her party. And so when I sent out the 25 pies and they were well received, and I thought to myself, I overthought it, of course, and I said, well, I'm going to build a website. I'm going to build this business. Because these people, they might want my pie again. And that's 25 people in Seattle. This might multiply, like, oh my God, who knows? Like I don't know. And so I said, well, what is the business going to be called? What am I good at? Well, I'm good at making my great-grandmother's recipes, which are her 3 pies, sweet potato pie, apple pie, and honey pie. I'm good at that. And I'm good at making charcuterie boards. And I'm passionate about charcuterie. I think it's a great appetizer. It's just a really fun, you know, niche. And then I've always wanted to be a bestseller. I know I'm telling on myself, but I've always wanted to be a bestseller. And so I don't want to necessarily write a book, but I'm very passionate about food. I'm very passionate about cookbooks. And so I said, well, that's it. That's the business. I'm going to focus on cookbooks, and I'm going to do my charcuterie, and I'm going to do my 3 pies that I know I could do like the back of my hand. And I couldn't think of an actual name. You know, some people are smart enough or imaginative enough to think of a fancy name like Soulful Kitchen, or, you know, so I couldn't think of anything. So I said, well, what do? I do pies, I do boards, and I do books. So that's going to be the name of the company. That's going to be the name of the website. And hopefully it's not too hard for people to figure out. And it has really taken off. The one thing that I learned about the business, again, piggybacking off of what you were saying, is you have to learn in-house. You can't, like, no school taught me how to be a caterer. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm learning every day. I'm my only employee. Like, I don't have any employees, so I'm still my one-woman show. I might make my daughter help me out, because if she wants the business, of course she could take it over whenever she's ready, and I train her on how to do the pies and everything. But for the most part, I'm learning as I go, and I'm rolling with the punches. But they're good. They are good punches. I'm really happy. Within the 2 years of the company, I'm at Pike Place, popping up every Sunday, and I'm, like yesterday I did 16 charcuterie boards for T-Mobile. Like, girl, stop. Like, my business is doing well. I mean, do I have 24-hour days that I do not sleep? Yes. Do it. Like you were saying, Barb, like, am I overworked and underpaid? Yes. Yeah. But I'm proud of the business, and I'm proud what this little brain was able to do, like as far as think of, and then I'm grateful to see what's going to happen in the future.
Are you using a commercial kitchen at this
Absolutely.
point?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's exactly where we're at. The city, yeah. I got the permits going on, and it's this year where we have to renew our permits.
Yeah.
So I am legit.
You are legit.
I am legit. But that's the hurdle, right? Because I know a lot of people who bake pies out of their home and sell it to their friends, or who make plates and sell it to their friends. I know a lot of people who, always call, Francis for the charcuterie for our but it's that taking your idea and turning it into something.
Right.
Or you're using someone else's kitchen and
Oh yeah. So
having the ability to take our ideas, and Aditi, I'm going to ask you so you can start thinking about it, where the idea comes from. And we have these ideas, and sometimes they're half-baked, and sometimes they are fully thought out with graphs and all of it. So we're all sitting here because we took those ideas and we had the confidence in ourselves to make it a reality.
Yes.
Your honey pie, that right there just makes you legit. You don't need anything else.
Thank you.
Traci, what about you?
Me?
Yeah.
What about me?
Well,
No,
how did you start? You're not just
How
gonna
did
make us
I
talk.
Oh yeah. I have a degree in public relations and marketing. When I was married, my ex-husband and I had a marketing agency. And about a year into owning the agency, my mom was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's. She was 58 at the time, which is incredible to think about because I'm 53 now. Well, almost, like another week or two. So she was so young. And so I transitioned out of the agency and started becoming my mom's caregiver. And I grew up with mom and dad in the kitchen. Our family was the gathering place for all the aunts and uncles and brothers and nephews. Everyone came to our family home for homemade pizza parties. My parents had built an Adobe
Italian.
oven.
I was gonna say giving
I'm not Italian.
Oh, I was giving Italian. Okay.
I am half Mexican.
Yeah.
My dad's father was from Mexico, Michoacan, represent.
Hey.
And my mom was from Pennsylvania, the opposite of Mexican. And she had never had a taco or tamale until she met my father in California. And it's side tangent, squirrel moment. She had her first tamale, and a Mexican tamale is wrapped in corn husks. Yeah. And we know to peel the corn husk off.
No.
Well, my mom didn't know.
No.
So she did it right. She's like, this is terrible. No. Yeah. So she had a quick introduction, and the beautiful thing is my Mexican grandfather taught my mom how to make Mexican food. And her Mexican food, like her natural gift of cooking, surpassed all of the Mexican dishes he made. She had that ability. So that's what I grew up with. So in caring for her, I would cook with her as long as she was able. And then she reached a point where she couldn't do it anymore. So I started preparing meals for her and my dad. And I would stock their fridge and freezer and make sure they had fresh made food. Fast forward, 20 something years. And my mom has since passed away. My father passed away in 2015. And I cook and I serve people because it's a way to honor them, but it's really who I am. To be of service and to keep people nourished and fed, I couldn't do anything else. I do kid around that I'm unemployable. I understand this about myself.
I think I can relate to that.
And that's okay.
I get that.
I think we're all a little bit.
Yeah,
we're
a
all
little
bit.
Yeah.
Right. So that's how I started, and I have had a personal chef business, a private chef business. I started a gourmet food line in 2011. After I went to Italy, had an amazing experience there, came back, named my business Seductive Specialty Foods, received the most inappropriate catering request, realized probably should not have named. Yes. I blame Italy.
Well, now you see why my company's called Pies, Birds, and Books. I could never think of anything cool, okay?
So Seductive Specialty Foods eventually morphed into catering and dinner parties, and then I started doing tours here at the market with cooking classes, and then eventually I took over the Atrium kitchen.
How long ago?
I took over October 2017. And I had 2 amazing years of business, and then March 2020. And I watched 100% of my in-person event business disappear. That's when I changed things up. But we'll talk about community in a little bit. That's how I started.
It's a
very long way of getting there. Sorry.
Oh, that's a beautiful story.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
And Aditi, I know that your chai is family recipe based.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do before making chai and selling the world's best chai?
So, long career path, but my Seattle story actually started with Atrium Kitchen. Just before you took over. So in 2015, I had done an Indian food pop-up in the Atrium kitchen, actually, and it was to just let people know what Indian food is, because what you get in the restaurant
so good.
it's just one part of Indian food, but Indian food is variety of different food, because every state in India has its own different culture and different food that it comes with. So my whole idea was to educate people about that, and with the best produce that we get in Pacific Northwest. So that's how I started, and then at the end of those dinners I would serve my chai. And I think it went on for a little bit, and then Evan Enders of Columbia City Bakery asked me to make chai for him. And that's how I got started, and rest is the history. But yeah, so I started with that, and then my whole business was a wholesale business until I got the space in the market, because I always, since that 2015, first time I had my event here, I wanted to have a place, my chai shop, in the market. And so I waited for all of these years for that dream to come true. And finally it has, so I'm over the world. It's
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank
Yes,
you.
congratulations.
It's a big milestone.
Yeah.
Realizing dreams is a theme with all of us.
Oh, yes.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
As far as you say that you wanted to be part of Pike Place Market, is it the community that was attractive to you, or its place in history?
I think a little bit of everything. So growing up in Mumbai, India, we have public markets which are centuries old. And I have very fond memories of going to those public markets with my mom and aunts and sometimes even uncles, and to get fresh produce and to go and eat at a roadside stall or something. And so very, very important to me that I had a shop in the market for that reason. And then other reason is that I love talking, as you can tell, and I love bringing people together. And as I was saying, that in India, chai is not just a cup of beverage. It is a way of extending your hospitality to people, way of bringing people to your home, asking them how you are, with stories and it's laughter. And so all of those aspects I wanted to bring to my friends and family and guests here. And what better place to do that than Pike Place Market?
Yes.
So it's a little bit of everything. Personally, it's very dear to me, market, just because it reminds me of my family and my childhood. And two, it's just stories and things that I get to learn from people and meet people from all around the world. I mean, you know, we all meet people from everywhere.
It's like magic.
It's magic.
It really
I
is
mean,
like magic.
every evening I go home and I have so many stories to tell.
Yes.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
The community aspect, I mean, you're both relatively new, you're newish.
Yes.
You've been here for decades, and I'm somewhere in between all that. For you, is having a business here in Pike Place Market, is it about the community? Is it about the legacy, the iconic Pike Place Market? This is the incubator where a woman can successfully start a business.
Yes. Community is huge for me too. If you can't tell, I'm a black girl, you know what I'm saying? So community is huge for me. I think for the black community in America, we are a community-based culture. Even me having the idea of wanting to start the catering business, I'm thinking of my great-grandmother's recipes. And so just like you guys keeping the tradition going, it's all about keeping tradition going within, within the family. Hopefully, again, my daughter will take over if she wants to. She has full autonomy, But I'm from Seattle originally. I was born in Chicago, yes, but I've been living in Seattle since I was 6 months old, and I didn't leave Seattle until I was after I graduated from my associate's degree in college. And so I've lived in the Central District on 16th and Union my entire life. And so for me to come back home and within less than 4 years, start a business and then have a little pop-up shop every Sunday at Pike Place, for me, Nadia Moseley, that gets no better. You can't tell me that, you can't call me a failure, if that makes sense. I don't feel like I've made a mistake. And so it's the historic vibes, it's the strength, it's the community, it's the magic, it's the joy. That's what I get when I set up my booth at Pike Place, or when I set up my shop at Pike Place, and that's how I feel when I'm telling others to visit me here. I'm proud to say, come see me at Pike Place every Sunday, my little pop-up. I'm so proud to say that. I'm sure you guys are all proud to say you guys have a space at Pike Place. And whenever I say that to other people, the reaction that I get is, oh, Pike Place, oh, this is okay. And I'm also trying to encourage the locals to come back to Pike Place. Yes. It's not just for the people off the ships, or or the tourist people or the visitors. It's for us too.
That's a beautiful thing about the market at this time of year.
Yeah,
we see a lot of our locals coming back, and I absolutely love that. I'm just a tangent. I get a lot of locals taking our market to table tour.
Yeah,
and usually they're like, "Oh, I've been here before. We thought this would be a fun way to celebrate a birthday or something." I'm like, okay, when you learn something new on my tour, raise your hand, let me know. And before we've ever left the economy building, they're raising their hand. So it's just enlivening to give people an experience of the market, something that we get to experience every day.
I enjoy the vendors. Right now, these earrings are, we have to shout this girl out. These earrings are from one of the vendors at Pike Place.
And
at one of the crafts.
Her name?
Laura, she does the Santa Claus ornaments.
Okay.
So yeah, go
check out Laura.
Yeah, so even I enjoy the market. I eat your food all the time. I come to Lands of Origin and
banana.
It's so good. No, yeah, I get your beef patties, those lamb patties, rather. They're so good. I can't wait to try your chai. So again, it's even as a vendor, I enjoy the market.
Oh, I come here on my days off too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You get days off. No.
right.
I shouldn't have said that out loud. I do. I mean, even when the store is closed, for that one day.
So Barb, having been a business owner here in the market since 1990, the community has a little different feel for you, I'm assuming. tell me about your relationship with the community and what it means to you.
It means so much. The market is so much more than what meets the eye. There are over 400 apartments in the market, which almost no one knows. 80% of which are designated for senior or disabled housing. And when you come shop at the market and shop at these wonderful places, some of what you purchase goes to help those senior to disabled. We have a food bank that will deliver to a senior citizen's door. If they're unable, it'll deliver a holiday meal. They have yoga for senior citizens. There's assisted living that is right next to the market and a market commons. There's just so much more than you would ever meet, and I think that this is what we have here at the market, that what we have here is what is supposed to happen out there.
Right.
That's what it's supposed to be like. That we care for our seniors and our disabled, and that
Our
we're able to
veterans.
do that. There is a health clinic in the market that people can use if you need to see a physician. If you don't have insurance, that you can go to. That's what happens when you have a community
Right.
that cares for each other.
And for folks that don't know, all of those programs you mentioned are supported by the Pike Place Market Foundation.
Absolutely, and that we do those fundraisers and you see them sponsoring things out there, and that when you participate in those things, you're giving to yourself and your community at large, and I've been able to help and support those things, you know, as my business has grown, and the hope I feel when new businesses like yours come into the market, and you know, and you can take a pessimistic view, and certainly the city has its problems in that, but the answer's here. I don't have to wonder, like, you know, how do we solve these things? This is the answer. You answer those problems out there by how you invest in the small things.
Right.
Like women-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses, because it all starts with an application of kindness and caring, and how that works it out, and because then you get employees that care and you get customers that care, and that sort of investment is what changes things out there.
That's right.
And I don't know how, that might not be in a business manual, but that is really how I believe these things work. And I've seen how that's played out over 30 plus years in the market and how things have gone. And I've seen, I've volunteered with seniors, and and I've lost some very dear friends in the market, and characters have come and gone from Mae West and Billy B and people that I've had the privilege to help care for.
Yeah.
And just near and dear people in the market, and known, about their lives. And, and I've had and one of my friends just turned 80 this last Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I work anywhere else and have the opportunity to say, I have this friend who just turned 80.
Right.
And that's why I get here, and I get to go see new businesses. And I also live in the market.
You do.
Where 80% of the housing is, for seniors is disabled, and a certain amount is just for the regular riffraff that I partake in.
Are you part of the riffraff?
I'm part of the riffraff in the market. And so I get to see my neighbors, and the buildings are just a mix of everyone in downtown. And I feel the privilege,
Yes.
to participate in that.
I think that is the right word, the privilege. Having the privilege to serve our community and be part of it. That is one of the most beautiful gifts of owning a business here in the market, is that we get to not just connect with people that are visiting Pike Place Market, but people that live here. that this is what people call home. And I think that there's great ways for us to build on that community.
The programs you did during COVID, helping people out with what they could contribute for a meal, I mean, that was incredible.
And, you know, I forget sometimes that Nourished Neighborhood, which is now a 501c3, I established it as an official nonprofit during the pandemic, but I started it in February 2017 before I ever took over the Atrium kitchen. It was, I had this vision of bringing people together and feeding them a meal for free. I mean, I do it and get paid,
but don't you see how, and maybe all of us as business women, we can all recognize this too, like when things work out, that's how you know you're on the right track.
100%.
Like
100%.
Sometimes even in the midst of our confusion of business, of us being business owners, there's still that hint of, oh, well, that makes sense. Oh, well, I'm on the right track. Or, oh, well, what a coincidence. I mean, that's the universe letting me know. And from what I'm hearing from what you're saying is the universe was letting you know.
100%.
You was on the right track.
I was, and I still am. So I did it February through October of 2017, and then I was an official business owner here. Like, well, I'm really gonna go for it. And it was a way that my business, my profitable business, could support and give back. Fast forward 3 years exactly to March 2020. And I remember that first week, like, because I always did it, I used to do it on the first Wednesday, now it's the first Thursday of every month. And I'm like, you know, we should probably hold off a week or two, let this, whatever this, I don't remember what it was called in the beginning, but let it pass and we'll pick up the free meal. Well, that did not happen until September 2023. We started the free lunch again.
It took 3 years, almost
3 years to bring the free lunch back. But what happened after everything shut down for us is that I was getting emails and phone calls from seniors who had been coming to our free lunch, and they were being told to shelter in place, and they were asking me if I knew where they could get food. And I didn't know where to send them. I knew that there were wait lists for some of the meal programs. I'm like, I don't know where I can send you, but I know how to make food, and I will make you food. And that, I mean, that's how I call it Nourished Neighborhood 2.0. And if anyone was in need, it wasn't just seniors, it was people, yes, living homeless, people with food insecurity. A lot of people don't know that food insecurity is defined as more month than money left. So people on a fixed income, by the end of the month, they're running out of funds to purchase food. So that is one definition of food insecurity. So Nourished Neighborhood has always been available to anyone. I don't know how to not be of service to others. So at a time when I couldn't gather people together for events, I found a way to continue to be of service. And being that part of the community, that's life-changing. And I didn't know how I was going to do it. Back to, I didn't have a business plan. I did not think that one all the way through. But here's the thing, the universe does reward you. I put the word out. I think I had 1,000 people on my email distribution list. Put the word out, hey, we are going to start packaging up free meals for seniors. They're going to get a week's worth of healthy, fresh-made food delivered once a week. And I had everything I needed.
Wow.
I had restaurants donating food. I had people donating cash. I was never without everything I needed. I had the hands. I had volunteers coming. That's just staying true to your purpose. So I will say this, it is fantastic to go back to our once a month free lunch, which we did yesterday. Our numbers are gradually coming back up. We hit December 2019, we had over 300 people come to the free lunch. Yesterday, we finally reached 150. So we are coming back and coming back strong. But it's a great way to get to know people in the community. So. Did you talk a little bit about community for you?
I did, but
Yes.
I think for me also, I think we all come from service-oriented mindset, right? So
Yes.
it's so nice to see locals and people who live here. So I'm a new business here, and I'm getting to know all of the local people who live here, and they come and they introduce themselves, and it is so nice to see them like every few days, or almost every day, walking their dog, or like
Yes.
coming and telling us how their day is going. And I think it's really nice. I think that is also something that you will not get anywhere else.
Yep.
This is what is very unique to Pike Place Market, and I'm again very privileged. I feel blessed and privileged to be here.
This morning I went over to Aditi's shop right out there to talk with her for a few minutes before we got going here, and Leslie, one of the seniors who lives in the LaSalle building, she was walking by with her pup and just getting to check in on her. Hey, how's your day going? How you doing? And I saw her yesterday. She came for lunch yesterday, and my world feels complete when I can lay eyes on them and know that, they're still good, still going. If we change gears, did we talk about community with you? Help me remember. We did? No?
No.
I think so.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Community. So the first place that I visited was Pike Place, the Airbnb that we were supposed to get into when we moved all the way from Iowa 7 years ago. It was not ready. So we parked our car and came to Pike Place. And we were from a very, very, very small town. We didn't even have a Starbucks. Very, very small town. I know, it was that small. So we came and we just landed in Pike Place, and it just felt
What
like
month
magic.
was it that you landed here?
Oh, it was in the summer. It was
Oh.
beautiful. Oh my God, it was beautiful. We were like, wow. We just could not get enough of it. So for me, this represents Seattle. This represents, it just almost feels like home. And like you, I grew up around like the largest open market in Africa, which is called the Mercado. And my parents are physicians, so I couldn't ever dream about becoming a merchant. I have to become some doctor or some engineer, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But secretly, I would look at people counting money behind them, and I was so excited to be one of those people, because I loved the hustle, I loved the energy, and I found that energy here. People are just hustling behind the scenes. But then also there are the people who are like taking their time and kind of strolling through, and the juxtaposition of those energies is just, something very, very beautiful. And I really love this place.
There's tons of diversity at Pike Place.
It's-
If there's something that you're looking for, you can find it here.
Yep. Frog legs, Don and Joe's.
Really?
Yep.
No, I did not know
They can bring
that.
them in.
Oh, I think
Not that I have any recipes for frog legs, but I'm sure if you deep fry them, they'll be delicious.
Oh.
Frog legs are good. I've had them. They're good.
Rabbit. I've had my fellow rabbit.
Ooh, is it yummy?
Oh.
Or is it chewy?
Are there a lot of women business owners?
There's over 250 women-owned businesses here in the market.
In the market. How many?
Yes.
Phenomenal.
Whoa, that's
Yes,
amazing.
we're just 5.
Amazing.
Not just, we are 5.
That
Very
is so
strong
cool.
business
And how many
owners.
markets, how many stalls are there? Or like how many businesses are in the market
A lot.
total?
Right. Like, I'm sure.
More than 250.
I feel like my numbers are not current.
Because I'm sure that they're also fluctuating. Some businesses close, some businesses open back up. There's some. I was even looking at the commercial side of Pike Place. But even though I think I'm gonna stay at the pop-up. But I was even looking at the commercial side of Pike Place.
Yes.
And they have openings.
Yes.
So if,
I just took a tour of the open spaces.
Yeah, they have. If you think you can do what we're doing,
That's right, which is a great segue into if you were to give advice to a woman entrepreneur, someone who's on the fence. Maybe they don't have the full confidence, or maybe they're waiting to hear what you have to say to get them to go for it.
Wow.
What would you say? Art.
You can do it.
I love it.
You can do it. If you're willing to work hard, have your home situation lined up.
Yeah.
You know, if you have help with a partner or something, I mean, make sure you got your rent or your mortgage covered. Because it's hard to pay rent at a business and pay rent at home.
You know, I could have used that advice about 16 years ago. Duly noted.
You know, if you need a roommate or whatever, square that away. Because starting a business is going to take all of your focus. If you're going to be successful, it's going to take all of your focus. You can do one thing well or many things poorly. But if you direct your energy and say, this is what I'm going to do, you're going to do it, and you're going to do it well. Just, you know, more things are born of desperation than inspiration.
Child, say that again. That's a bar, honey.
And just know if you need to do something, you're going to be able to do it. And you get the strength to do it at the moment you need to do it. So all the feelings of inadequacy or, oh, if I can do it, just leave that under the table, because you're going to be able to do it at the moment you need to do it.
Love it.
And maybe not before, but you will be able to do it.
I love it. Yes. What are your words of advice?
Oh.
We're coming back to you. Don't you worry.
Words of advice. I'm just gonna try to give advice to myself. You know, maybe 6 years ago when I first started the business, and how hopeful I was and how I thought I would, you know, start a business, and the money would roll in and I would have, you know, days off. I would be able to travel to Fiji.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
But it's not like that. It's not glamorous. It's not, it's a lot of hard work, a lot of tough decisions, a lot of mistakes, a lot of crying, a lot of tears, a lot of blood, a lot of, you know, sweat that goes into it. It literally, just recently I heard about how a flamingo loses its color when it's nursing little kids or when it's feeding its little kids. It's kind of how it feels, right? Because you're bringing an entity into life.
Yes, you are.
And it has to take, you know, you have to give it some of your energy. You have to share some of your, you know, the life force that you have. That's kind of how I look at it. And just keep going. Don't stop. Don't second guess yourself, because I'm always second guessing myself. I'm always thinking, am I going to be able to do this? Is this even doable? Is this even? Shelf that for a second. Yeah. Let that rest. I have been so wrong so many times about my abilities. I don't know how much my body can handle. I don't know if I'm able to do 15, 16-hour days, but at the, you know, in the morning, I'm telling myself, no, this is not possible. It can't. This is the event that's going to break me. But I'm still here.
You're still here?
I'm still here. So,
And beautiful.
Yeah.
Hey, girl.
Aditi?
What do I say after such good wisdom from both of you? But I think that I 200% agree with what you said. And I think if you have a passion and a dream, I think that there is no stopping, right? So those things are there. But then also when you you just have to decide and jump in. If you keep thinking about it, it's never going to happen. But it's easier said than done, because all of us, as you said, we have so many responsibilities and mortgage to pay and responsibility towards our family and, you know, kids and everything, and it's really hard. So I would say, like, talk to as many business owners as you can, and get insights into what it is like to have or do a business, and then jump into it. And as you said, keep your resources in check, at least say that, okay, I have this much time and this much funds, and I'm gonna try to do what I think I'm good at or my dream is, and then if it takes off, yeah, like, you know, pursue it and go for it. But otherwise, it's a huge responsibility that that you impart upon your family or your employees or anybody else. So it's a good balance, and I think we're all a little bit shy about reaching out and talking to people and asking help or asking advice. And I would say that foremost and first do that, because we're all here, we have learned so many things, as you said, from our failures, and every failure is a learning opportunity, and we are still learning. But at least for new people who are starting the business, I'm all in to tell them everything they need to know, and I think that you would be the same and you would be the same. It's just, I think we have to shed our inhibition and reach out. So.
And how about for you? What advice would you give?
I have so much advice to give. I'm going to try to condense it though. First and foremost, when you're starting a business, you're starting a business for the public, not your immediate friends and not your family. You cannot run yourself ragged, upset because your friends and family are not supporting you the way that you want them to.
Excellent.
I'm sorry. You just have to get over that part. And when your friends and family, after they see your hard blood, sweat, and tears, yeah, they're going to want to celebrate with you, even though they didn't help you. So just get over it. Get over that. That's part of the business. I've learned that is actually part of the business. And the other thing that I would say is starting a business and running a business takes money. You have to spend money to make money. And bad energy scares your money away. So take that for what it is. Whatever your bad energy vibe is, you have to check that before you know you're going to receive your money. Bad energy scares the money away. And when it comes to the business and when it comes to money and when it comes to operations, whatever business you're running, be prepared to invest in yourself. You're going to have to spend your own money into your business, but don't be afraid to spend other people's money for your business. People will invest in you financially. They will do it. Just like you said, you sent out that email and what happened? People will invest in your business if they see value in it. And don't take it personal if somebody does not see value in your business, because it is your business, it's yours. So that's the best advice. Don't take it personal, and don't let them on your yacht though when you make it. Don't let them on the yacht.
Don't let them
on the yacht when you make it. Don't let them on the yacht when you make it though.
Or on your trip to Fiji.
No, they can't come.
I think my advice is to really love what you're doing. And I get people that'll come on my tours and come to our corporate team stuff, and they tell me, it just seems like you really love what you do. I'm like, I get to do what I love every day. Every day. And
what you love got you.
Yes. My brain needs to process that. Yes. I've never regretted saying yes to something, but I have regretted saying no.
Oh, really?
And I lead with a yes, and then I trust myself to figure it out. So my advice is to do what you love. If it makes you the happiest ever, but it doesn't seem like financially you can do it or support-wise, move forward. It might be baby steps. I have a friend, I'm going to call her out, Natalie. She does sweet natty cakes, and her cakes are phenomenal. And I am pushing her. She's doing another pop-up in a couple weeks at the Atrium kitchen with her amazing cakes. Like, your product is so good, and you're so happy when you're making these cakes. Get out there and keep doing it. Keep going.
There's no one doing cakes in downtown Seattle.
I know.
Do you know how many people ask me, do I know where there's a bakery they want to have a little birthday at an office or something?
Yes.
There is no birthday cakes. There's no pies in downtown Seattle. I get asked about stuff like that all the time.
Every Sunday, I sell out every Sunday.
Yes, you do.
I sell out every Sunday, and it's because you're right. this area
Needs it.
had
There's
that
a
void.
deficit.
Had that void, yeah.
Yep. And you're selling out every Sunday, not just because you're making an in-demand product available, but because it's a very good product. And
Homemade, y'all.
and I can say that about everything. I've eaten more Daily Dozen donuts than I probably should admit. And I've tried them all. I used to love the powdered sugar ones, but then I
gonna say, what are
realized
your
I was
flavors?
wearing the powdered sugar. So and now I just wear chocolate sprinkles and bacon.
You have a chocolate and bacon donut?
No.
Oh,
but
Maple and bacon.
maple and bacon and chocolate sprinkles. And if you eat them together, you're getting the chocolate and the.
That sounds good.
That's a good tip.
We're always experimenting.
Good tip.
Are there any last thoughts that you have that you want to share with our viewers who are watching live right now, or those who are going to watch this on replay? I mean, the viewers of this have a great insight into what it is to be a woman-owned business here in Pike Place Market. We are a city within a city, and we have such a great venue for our passion. So if there's someone that would like to bring their product to market, if there's someone that is interested in connecting with you, they would like to learn more about Ethiopian food or your experience with Indian food that is not what we traditionally see. You know, what are the best ways for people to reach you? Instagram, Facebook. You don't have Facebook right now?
I don't have the face. Well, I have. I don't have a Facebook. I do, but I don't. I'm never monitoring. Instagram is where you'll find me.
Yes.
Instagram is where you'll find me.
Barb, where do we find you?
And TikTok.
Around the corner from the fish throwers. I get calls all the time. Where can I find it? I'm around the corner from the fish throwers.
Yes. Follow your nose.
Yeah.
You'll smell the donuts.
I can't smell them anymore. I can't smell the fish throwers anymore. I've been here.
That's
too long.
kind of a blessing.
Yeah. People today tell me I smell better than the fish throwers, though.
Yeah, you do. And Aditi.
I would invite all of you to come and visit us at the chai shop and say
Yes.
hello, and we'll talk over a cup of chai.
I love that.
I think that's the best way to connect.
Yes.
I mean, you could reach out to me any other way, but I think in person is what I thrive on. And
That connection.
I like that connection.
Yes.
So if you're able and whenever possible, come visit us.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm going to say the same too. Yes, come visit us at Pike Place. We're here. We have some lamb rolls and
So good.
amazing pies and chai and, of course, the legend. You are.
You are.
Kind of a royalty.
It's that the 40 years of wisdom of owning a business.
Wow.
And
Do you have kids? I'm sorry. I'll ask you.
I just wonder, like, what's different, like, how men would have directed the business as opposed to women, because
And this might be a generalization, and maybe I shouldn't answer, but I think men will be more statistically and financially driven, and women are more heart-led.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that men don't have a
it
heart.
was mostly men when I got here years
Right.
ago.
Oh, I bet.
Well, and that's a confidence thing too. Women had a place, and it wasn't running a business. Although if you look for our bakers in here, if you look at the history of Entenmann's and Sara Lee brands, those are women-owned businesses. Used to be, not anymore. But there are powerful women all throughout our history that have created some of the most phenomenal things, but that's hidden.
Yeah.
So,
The windshield wiper, I just found out recently, was created by a woman.
what?
I know.
That's awesome.
Imagine that, clarity.
I
The windshield wiper. Ooh.
Yeah.
I am dropping that that little fact. Next chance I get.
Because of course a guy built the car, right? But she's like, baby, I can't see.
Actually, I think the first car was designed by a woman. It was electric.
Oh.
Oh, I'm going to look that up
Yeah,
too.
Women rock.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of strength and power, and I think that we have the ability to lift others. There's people out there competing with us, but we don't see it because that's not on our radar.
Listen to me. As women, we have the power to tear each other down, but we also have the power to lift each other up.
Yeah, I think
And I just got chills just now. Like I just got like goosebumps because lifting each other up is what we do best.
Yes.
It's really what we do best.
It comes natural.
Every single time I see a mean girl, I'm like, she ain't even doing it right. See what I'm saying? Like, being a mean girl is not even a good thing.
I
Like,
think
just lift
it's
it
much
up.
more a sense of being the tide that raises all boats.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's right.
Because when I first got here, there were some men like just told me, you need to do this.
Oh. Okay.
You shouldn't do that. You know, I mean, we're just looking out for you, but that's not the right way to do it. And I just thought, it's the way I'm doing it.
Right. You know, like, here, hold my coffee. Watch this. Well, I have thoroughly enjoyed having a conversation with all of you and getting to have you back this year. It's super fun. A shout out to Liz from Eat Seattle Food Tours and Ray and Alicia from Truffle Queen. They were part of last year's first one. Now I feel like our group is expanding and growing, and it's by no accident that we have food-based women business owners here today. That's what my business is. I encourage conversation with artists and craftspeople here in the market and farmers. So
We should do this
Thank
every
you.
month.
I
would tune in every month.
tune in every month.
Oh yeah,
I would tune in every month.
100%. Oh really?
like I was saying before, Fireside, it's called Fireside, right?
Fireside Chat.
It started with FDR, and I believe he did it like once. How often did he do it? He did it pretty often. So
Yeah.
it's not a bad idea.
Yes, I think having a
Tune in.
conversation more than once a year is probably a great idea. Let's make it
Or
happen.
just
Let's
find
make
out
it
and
happen.
just walk over and say hello to other business owners, right? And
Yes.
that's another way of, introducing yourself and,
Yeah,
and
'cause-
cultivating that community.
And that's one of the beautiful things, what I get to do with my business, Market to Table.
Exactly.
I get to introduce all the guests coming to me to all of you.
Because you've sure
Yeah.
done that for me. You showed like you serve the pies. You serve
Yes.
the honey's pies.
And I couldn't decide when I first found your pies. I'm like, well, do I get the apple, the sweet potato, or the honey pie? I'm like, nope, we'll take all of
All
them.
three, right?
And then we did a little
gonna be a
taste
good
test.
day.
And, they were all delicious, but the honey pie was just unique. So, yes. You brought some today, right?
Oh, I almost brought charcuterie. You guys, I almost brought us a little charcuterie board, but I was like, okay, I don't want to overdo it, and I don't want to be that girl that's like, ah. So I did.
Oh, be that girl.
Yeah, I'm gonna stuck on after pie.
Yeah, I will bring you guys some pies.
And
Yeah.
I'll be by Sunday. I work Sunday.
Yeah, I'm on the
Now, where
market
are you all
front.
at?
Oh, I'm on the market front. So right when you park your car and you get off the elevators and you hit 3 and you get off the elevators, you'll see my booth. I'm right there.
Near the Commons or?
No, right above that. So walk out the craft stall area, walk out those double doors. It's basically the space.
There's the horseshoe. You go down from the horseshoe.
Nope, just walk out past the horseshoe. Yes.
Past
So
the
right
horseshoe.
above
Okay.
Old Stowe Brewing.
Yes, that's a good one.
Yes, right there. So that's a great idea to find Daily Dozen Donut Company. Just walk. How would you best describe for guests to find you? Follow your nose.
Just around the corner from the fish throwers as you're facing the clock.
That's right. I'm looking-
Everyone calls the fish throwers. They don't even say Pike Place Fish.
How many times do
Fish
you think you've
throwers.
said that in your life?
That and how do I find a restroom?
Oh yeah.
That's the
Yes.
number one question. How do I find a restroom?
My number one question is where's the gum wall? Because if
Oh,
they
yeah.
take you
Yeah.
to the atrium kitchen or the atrium, they're close, but they can't quite find it.
Oh,
Followed
mine
up
is-
by where's the bathroom?
Mine
Yeah.
is where's the Starbucks?
Oh yeah.
Yes, where's the original
They're so
Starbucks?
close once they get to your place.
Correct.
I can feel it. I'm warm.
I have a
Yeah.
whole list of
yeah.
questions that people ask because they come
No.
and they ask us.
You're
so
in prime
much.
location.
I'm right
As soon
there.
as they,
so
yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Well,
Right
you're
in front
gonna
of the
learn
information
market
booth.
quickly because you're going to
I've
have
already,
to give directions.
I have all of the new team
Where's the
members
bungalow?
that
Where's
I
the bathroom?
bring in.
Where do
They
throw
need
the
to
fish?
know all of those questions. Yes, yeah.
So Meeraf, Lands of Origin, and Aditi Chai, both of those are on the cobblestones here. Daily Dozen Donut, around the corner from the Fish Guys, kind of near De La Rente. Nadia, Pies, Boards, and Books is on the market front on Sundays.
Yeah.
And Atrium Kitchen is right here in the Economy Building, located between De La Rente and Pike Brewing.
Oh, and you never said how people can find you. How can people find you? Are you on Instagram or?
I am on Instagram and I'm on Facebook. And apparently I have a Threads account.
Oh.
Do you ever get calls from Google saying we need to do your Google? And I'm like, I've never registered an account with Google, and they go,
I did get a call from someone that said there was a fan page that someone had created, and was I the owner?
That's nice.
I don't think it was.
well, did you ever hear about the Yelp scandal years ago with the restaurant in San Francisco? A famous one called the Stinking Rose.
Yes, amazing restaurant, by the way.
And they got a bad review, or somebody got upset because it's a pretty famous restaurant. And Yelp called and said, we want to help you with your bad review. Well, how Yelp helps you with your bad review is you pay them a fee.
I was just
and they
gonna
take
say.
it down.
It's terrible.
And the Stinking Rose said, we're not going to pay you to take down. And they said, well, we're going to leave these bad reviews up.
Right.
And the Stinger said, we don't care. So the Stinking Rose put an ad in the paper, and they said, if you give us a bad review on Yelp, you get 10% off your meal. So people were doing reviews like, I ordered a foot massage with my salad, and I never got it. And they were giving like 2-star reviews. I ordered weasel on a stick, and they never brought it to me. And just like crazy things. Well, that really messed with Yelp's algorithm, and Yelp said, you've got to stop it. And the Stinger said, no, they were just getting like crazy, like weasel on a stick, and ordered a foot massage, or I wanted mine with a trip to Fiji. Just crazy reviews.
We love inventions, right? We love smart.
Yeah, that's how Yelp helps you with your bad reviews. Just for a fee, they'll
You gotta pay a lot of money. Yeah.
Google reviews are fabulous, though.
Yeah, I like Google reviews. I do.
I think a lot of people look at them too.
Yep.
Oh, I
didn't realize
absolutely
that.
And
look at them.
TripAdvisor. People are always looking for recommendations when they're planning their trip. So,
Oh, TripAdvisor, really?
TripAdvisor. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's a good tip.
I think we could probably keep talking all afternoon.
Yeah.
I know a few of us have to go back to work.
Yes.
So thank you, Barb, for being here. You're not free to go just yet, but you can keep trying.
Found it.
I'm out. But thank you all. And I look forward
Thank
to doing
you.
this again sooner rather than a year from now. How's that
that
sound?
would be amazing, yeah.
Sounds perfect.
Excellent.
Thank you so
Well,
much
thank
for
you.
having all of us here.
Yes.
And so nice to meet all of you.
Yes, I'm going to go get my chai.
Absolutely, let's do it.
Okay, that's a wrap.